Okay, there we go. Good evening, everyone. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited to be with you tonight on Effective Living Monday Night Conversations. Oh my goodness, how great it is to have another day to be able to come and share with you on this evening on this wonderful platform. You know, as we always say, effective living is a movement. It's a journey. It's about living your life where you don't need to take a vacation from. And so, just in case we got any new people who joining us this evening, I am Coach Della Major, one of the co-hosts on this platform. Of course, I am just so thankful for our very own coach, Coach Ricardo Miller, who allows us to be able to come on Mondays and to share and break bread with you on this evening and just talk about a variety of topics. But our topics is designed to come from our Monday blog. If you have not had the opportunity to go and read any of our blogs, we invite you to go to Ricardo Miller's page on his website, which is www.ricardomiller.com, and click on the blogs and read the blogs. Not only just read it, but leave a comment. Because I'm telling you, the information that's being shared is just so powerful and so resourceful. And I know that you're going to be able to receive and get some good gut nuggets on tonight. Look, our time is going to be well spent this evening. Why? Because I have a very special guest joining me this evening. And we're going to be talking about, why we need to declutter our lives. So before we begin and before we continue on, I want to just invite you not only just to watch us every Monday night, but then check out some of the actual teachings that's coming forth that our coach put out. I'm telling you, it's powerful and insightful. But then in addition to just the teachings, hey, we welcome you to join the community. Be part of the Effective Living group coaching community. I'm telling you, you have like-minded sisters and brothers who get together every morning at 6:30, and we come and we share, and we're receiving, the impartation for not only for the Holy Word, but then at the same time, what God has given our very own coach and helping us to be able to build our lives and take and live our lives on our own terms as you go forth and creating that life where not only you don't want to take a vacation from, but that life that which you are just really taking back, walking in your destiny, walking in your divine purpose. With that being said, I want to introduce my guest that's going to be on the platform with me tonight. She's a dynamite woman of God, but then even so, she's definitely a dominant and very prominent businesswoman. But I'm going to let her share her own testimony and her own story, and then we're going to get right into our topic tonight. Come on, teacher, businesswoman, executive entrepreneur, Miss Nixon. Wants to share a little bit with the people's on us tonight.
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, I want to give honor to God and just thank Him for not only your platform, Coach's platform, and the opportunity to be with you tonight. You and I have been friends. We share a very long history, and you too are a true woman of God. So thank you for the opportunity. But
Yes.
look at here, people. Let me tell you a little something about myself, and just a little bit. But even in the little bit that I will tell you, you will come to know that I've had a journey. I've had a journey where God has shown me that the purpose, I have a purpose. I have a purpose in this world. I really do. And not only did He tell me what the purpose is, I have to be obedient in sharing it. And so my name is Loretta Moore-Nixon. I'm the CEO and owner of Passion by Design Boutique. And I'm also the founder of My Sister's Keeper. I am a 9-year cancer survivor. And when I tell you that God saved me because I have something to do in this life, that's what I truly believe. I've been in business for myself as an entrepreneur for 3 years. I'm an all-purpose, all-service boutique. So anything that you need from fabulous accessories, you come see Loretta Moore-Nixon, Passion by Design Boutique. Other than that, I'm a mother. I've been with my childhood sweetheart for 41 years. We've been married for
Yes.
33,
Yes.
2 wonderful boys. And again, life has been good. And so I'm excited to share this platform with my dear friend, Coach Della. and just talk it up. I mean, there's a lot more that
All
I can
right.
say, but I'm ready to get started.
Let's
Let's
get
go.
started. Look, you know what? It's just so amazing how you talk about purpose and how you talk about, where God has brought you from and where God is even taking you to. I'm so excited about not only our conversation, but I'm excited about, what is really going to be discussed in our life. So first thing first, I definitely want to tell the audience, listening audience, look, share. I want you to click on the subscribe and share button. Let everybody know, hey, we are on live in this Monday night conversation, so they could come and join us here on this platform as well. So don't forget to do that. Share, hit the subscribe button, and like this particular page. So, Lo, we're going to be talking tonight about why should we declutter, okay? Declutter our life.
Yes.
But first, in
Yes.
order for us to talk about why we need to declutter, I want to hear what is your definition of clutter.
When I was posed that question, and let me just be transparent here. Cluttering, OMG. In church you got to throw your finger up or you got to put your toes in because the subject that's being talked about is all up in your house. That's what I'm talking about. Clutter to me, and what I know that it represents limitations. That's what it
Mm,
represents. It
mm.
represents limitations in my mind, limitations in my space, my energy, my world. It's limitations. And guess what? Probably when I got diagnosed with breast cancer and I had to change some things up, I realized that clutter of a spirit, clutter of people, clutter of stuff had no place in my life anymore. I couldn't deal
Ooh.
with it. It had to go. It had to go.
Oh my
'Cause
goodness,
I
you're
had this
talking some good stuff.
newfound energy of
Uh-huh.
wanting to live free,
Yeah.
wanting to
Yeah.
be water, wanting to flow. And I tell you, looking at clutter, being around clutter, I was like, you got to go. You gotta go.
Okay. You know what? You said something just in a few minutes ago. Not only were you talking about just clutter of things, but you also talked about clutter of your mental capacity,
Yes,
clutter, being having people's around that really that's not just even being have serving no good, having no value. And
yeah,
so when we talk about clutter, I know that when I was looking up just a basic definition of clutter, it says it's items that are broken or unused
mhm,
anymore. Is items that are in a unusual place that just all over or is in the wrong place. And then it also talks about things that's like not untidy. So
yeah,
we know that as we talking about declutter, when we think about what it says in the basic definition of clutter, we know that to declutter, that means you got to get rid of some things that you never really needed.
absolutely.
And oftentimes, what happens is when you have so many things that's in your life or that's around you, whether it's in your house, things that you might throw around or you continuously looking at it, you
Right.
start thinking, wait a minute, you know what? I need to hold on to this. I
Yeah,
need to maybe, I
yeah,
gotta, it's gonna come important a little
yeah,
down,
yeah.
down the line.
I'm gonna
You
wear
know,
that size again.
yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
get
I'm
back
gonna do
into that
that.
dress. I know I am. I
Come
know I
on,
am.
come on. But we know that when we talk about decluttering, that means it's things that we really just don't need.
We
It's
don't
things
need it.
that, we just need to, bite the bullet, throw that stuff out.
Throw it out.
Because it's
Yeah.
stuff that we don't use, it's stuff that we just have hanging around, it's
Yes,
stuff that
yes,
looks junky,
yes,
and we
yes.
already know things that clutters up our environment,
Mhm.
it just makes it so to the point where we start thinking about it clouds up our judgment.
It
It clouds
does.
us so much.
It
And
does.
so one of the things that he was talking about in the blog, and I like this statement, is saying taking time to declutter
Mhm.
and removing trash will
Mhm.
make your life so much better.
It will.
So
It frees you. It
come
really
on.
does. And the other thing that I was thinking about when I was reading, the
Yeah.
blog is it distracts you.
Uh-huh.
It distracts you because
Yeah.
you're thinking about clutter when you can
Yeah.
be thinking about something else. right? Your mind
Ooh,
isn't free, honey. Yeah, I
right.
mean, you feel bounded, right? As opposed
Yeah.
to you walking in something that has been decluttered or you let it go, you create a new space for energy, a
You
new
know what?
space.
I like when you said earlier about when you brought it out, talked about, the limitations, you know,
Limits.
yeah, because cluttering things that bogs you down and things
Mhm.
that weighs so much on you that
Mhm.
really is out of place or should
Yeah.
never been in a place, it does bind you. It does
Yeah,
keep you
it
in
box
bondage.
you in. It
Yeah.
really does. It really does. And so when I was thinking about that and realizing, even though I'm still on my journey of decluttering, mind, body, spirit, all of that, even the little bit, the few steps, right?
Yeah.
Get it
Yeah.
organized makes a huge difference.
Wow. And you know what? It's a statement that Coach said in the blog where he says, "Do you realize that clutter in your home is actually stealing from you?"
Hmm.
It's what he said, it's stealing your time, space, and
Right,
energy.
right.
Now, I never really looked upon it as taking something away or stealing. Our
Mhm.
ideal of something being stolen is like a
Yeah,
thief or a robber. A
right.
thief try to do a sneaking, but a robber just like come and jack your stuff.
Get you
You
upside
know,
the head and take it.
you just don't care, right? And so when we think about, the importance of decluttering, you know
Mhm.
what? We do need to try to capture back, that stuff that
Was
bogs us down.
stolen. Right, absolutely. And the other
So,
thing that I thought about, I'm
yeah,
sorry, but the other thing
no, no.
is that what about if you don't know your
Ooh,
right? What if you
ooh,
don't have that knowledge or that awareness, right? Because
yeah,
you know what it is. We look at something for so
yeah,
long or we're in that
yeah,
environment, it starts to look okay, right? It starts to look okay until you realize
yes,
it's not okay.
yeah. You know what? You just said it. It started looking okay. So that means we started trying to make a place for something that never should have never been.
Right, right. Come on now. So yes.
You know what? I like the statement that we see here on our actual frame here, where it says, clutter isn't just the stuff that's in your closet. It's
Mm-mm.
anything that gets between you and the life you want to be living.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
What
when
you
I
think
was
about that
just
statement?
yeah, when I was kind of meditating on it, so I actually, because we have to know where our guidance come from. So I
Right.
actually went to the Bible, right? I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
let me just type in clutter and all of that and see what the
Right.
Bible says about it,
Okay,
right?
good.
And you know how you Google and it's like, hey, does God like for you to have a messy home? Or what is clutter? One that stood out to me was Ephesians 4:31 and 32. And it kind of framed it for me, right?
Yeah.
Please don't ask me to quote it because I was
Let's
meditating on it.
paraphrase it. Let's
But
go.
yeah, essentially, I think things need to be in its place. You need to be
Yeah.
aware of things, right? You need to be aware of maybe what you're putting out there in the universe, negative thoughts, how you treat someone, what you're holding on to, and how any
Mm,
of that kind of then it gets on you, right? It gets in
mm.
you. And you have
Yeah.
to learn to let it go. You have to learn to let it go. Put
Wow.
things in its place. And then the other thing, Coach Della, that I was thinking about is just when you have spiritual clutter, I
Right.
started listing out things that would be considered spiritual, or clutter. Memories, right? Old
Yes, yes.
memories,
Right.
old hurts, all of those things, right? You hold on to that. And that's clutter in your heart, it's clutter in your spirit, it's clutter in your mind. So I like that statement. Clutter just isn't the stuff in your closet, right? It can be the stuff in your heart, it can be the stuff in your mind. And we just have to let it go.
And you know what? When we talk about effective living, we are talking about living our life not only on our own terms, but we're also talking about where there's nothing missing, nothing lacking, nothing broken. We're
Right.
talking about that journey that helps us to be able to live, excel in that lively structure where
Yes.
everything is not only balanced, is aligned spiritually, like you
Yeah.
said, emotionally, and we're
Emotion.
making a divine connection. Because
Right.
if it's stealing away, if clutter is taken away and stealing
Mhm.
away, God's given divine destiny for us, or
Yes,
his
yes.
purpose, or what
Purpose,
we say is the life we really want, then we
purpose.
understand that if we don't get them to the point where we got to get rid of the trash or get rid of things, then we know that we continuously to stay locked. We got to
Yeah.
be in the mindset
Yeah.
of, getting that stuff that doesn't fit, so we can have better management of the life we want to live.
Absolutely.
Oh
Absolutely.
man, this is
You
so
it
good.
starts with awareness. And
It does.
once you are aware of something, then you have to action it,
Come
right?
on.
And
Yeah.
once you action it,
Yeah.
look, you just keep doing what works, right? But you
Wow.
have to be aware, and that awareness has to come with acceptance. Okay, I'm a clutterer. Gotta
Come
let
on.
some stuff
That's
go.
it. That's
Then
good right
you
there.
have to action it,
You just
right?
said two
It's the
words.
three A's. Three
Come
A's.
on, give me the A.
Awareness,
Aware, come on.
acceptance,
Accept it, come on.
action.
And actually, you gotta, hey, acknowledge it, accept the fact that it is, and then you gotta go to work.
Do something
Okay,
about
so
it.
what it is, it's not about just a think about it. It's not about a talk about it. It's about a be about it. That's what
Be
you're
about
saying.
it. Right.
Oh my God!
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now
Look,
that,
ladies and gentlemen,
that hard part, right? I mean,
yeah,
that's it conceptually, right?
come on, come on.
But you got to make the choice. You got to learn to give it up. You have to learn to let it go. And that can be hard, mind you.
It can't be
That
hard.
can be hard.
It can't be hard. Tonight, you guys, ladies and gentlemen, who's joining us tonight, I am just so excited to be here with a powerful woman of God, Miss Nixon, who's sharing and talking about, this topic, very serious topic that we talk about. Why do we need to declutter our lives? And already we done shared three particular powerful nuggets, that's being understandable why, decluttering is so important, because we know that clutter takes away, it steals from our time, it steals from our space, and it steals from our energy. And why it is so important for us to declutter is so that we can be able to live the life free and to the fullness of what God has already designed for us
Absolutely.
to live. And so not only do we have to be aware of it, you got to accept the fact that,
Accept
yeah,
it.
maybe there's some things that's in my life that needs to go. And
Right.
then you got to put some action to it. That putting the
That's right.
action means like, don't just think about it, but you got to be about it. Be about it and mean
Absolutely.
making it happen, right? And so when we
Absolutely.
talk about it, was a question I wanted to ask you
Yeah.
about, why do you think people really do clutter? Why do you think do you think it's a form of procrastination? Do you think
Mhm.
it's a form of laziness? Or do you think it's a form of complacency? Why do you think people could really clutter?
Yeah, I think everyone is different, and so I'll speak from my
Yeah,
situation, right? Sometimes we're holding on, and I mentioned it before. Sometimes we're holding on to memories, right? I am one of those ones, and as it be, because I like to remember the folks who have gone on before me, right? And so, I'll be organized, and I'm like, wow, I kept this obituary, right? Or I kept these statements, right? Or I
mhm,
kept these receipts. I think for me, with certain things, I'm holding on to a sense of memories, right?
right, right,
And memories are great to hold on to, but the memories I have are in here and in my head, right? So do I
right,
really need to hold on to those
right.
pieces of paper? Do I really need to have that
Come
receipt
on.
from 2018? Do I really need to have, and so I think maybe for others, maybe it gives them comfort. Maybe it's a crutch. Maybe it could be any number of things, right? And so what I want to say about that is you have to do your own assessment,
There you
right?
go.
'Cause some
Hmm.
things are near and dear, and you
Yeah,
really don't want to let go
yeah,
of that heirloom. You don't want to let go of, right, something that is near and dear.
right.
But if it's not something that either supports the memory of, or that you really need, you got to really give thought to whether or not you should hold on to it.
And you know what? I like how the way you sharing it from your eye view and your perspective here, because it does. And I'm quite sure there's many people who can relate exactly to what you're saying, because it is an individual thing why people hold on to things. But then, when you begin to hold on, you're not even really, you blindly, not even aware that you're holding on to it so long,
Correct.
mentally, emotionally, physically,
Yeah.
to those
Yeah.
things that hinders you, to the point eventually you start realizing it is not only taking away your time, your space, but
Right.
it's taking away a lot of from you being able to move on to your level next. And so
Absolutely.
earlier you talked about, the decluttering of the mind and the psyche. And
Mhm.
I know for me, you know, negative habits, and I call them negative habits, is because I know for myself these habits that I have formed, it was like you said, a sense of comfort to me. But those habits that I formed, they was not good habits. Those was bad habits. And those bad habits begin to start manifesting. And so organizing, creating a good organization, managing my life effectively, really putting things in a proper space became to be so overcrowded with things that really should have never been there from the beginning. And so emotionally, I started building up all the negative thoughts. I started building up, the negative self-talk, the self-sabotaging talk. And that's all because I had so much of unnecessary things in my thought, in my psyche, to the point the stuff that needs to be there, the good stuff, the good habits to form, it wasn't enough room. So when we're thinking about effective living, we're thinking about the benefits of decluttering, we have to realize that when we do take into the scope of the importance of, it's not only such a big relief, but it creates room for a much more productive and happier life.
Yes, it frees you. If you think of it in terms of freedom versus limitations, freedom versus limitations.
Come on.
You look at what you want to strive to. And the other thing that I would say is, we beat ourselves up about it, right? Maybe there's a corner. We all have that one drawer in the kitchen where everything goes, right? Most of us call it a junk drawer. It has tape, batteries. It has some of everything in it, and whatever. It may be a corner. But I think sometimes you get caught up and you feel, less of yourself, right? Why can't I, declutter? Why can't I organize? Why can't I have the mind and the energy to tackle this? Well, it's because we're being bogged down, right? We're not attacking the thing that might be creating, the angst for us, creating, the stress for us, right? Yeah.
And you said something there. We're being bogged down. Bogged down to things that doesn't have it. And I mentioned earlier about the benefits of decluttering. It frees us up mentally. And it did bring a scripture that came to my mind after even I said that, was Philippians 4:8, where it tells us to think on these things that are pure, that is true. Think of those things that is of just and of loveliness. Then it says, as you think of these things, so as be, because it's going to bring you back not only that sense of peace, but it takes away all the stressful mindsets, all of the hindrances that we often, allow other things that doesn't, really fit. Because it's almost like when you got clutter, it just don't fit in the room. And I just noticed that, when I'm working and when I'm thinking and when I'm meditating, when I see something that just don't fit, it bothers me to the point I can't even focus on the thing that I need to focus on.
Right. Because that's the indication that we need to fix it. Like something needs to change. I do believe that the universe lines up and says enough is enough. Right?
Enough is enough. You know what? I see one of the things that was the coach has said, he's like, there are so many incredible benefits of decluttering, the mental and physical aspect of it, even starting small with one room or one drawer, or in this form of listing things like to clean out of your life, or allowing you to experience those benefits. When you think about, when you listen, when you come up and say, hey, I realize this is the stuff that I really got to tackle. It's giving you a goal. It's giving you a to-do.
It's giving you clarity, right?
Giving
clarity.
There we go. See, I was going right there. That's the word tonight. It's giving you clarity. When you can sit here and you can think about those things that you really need to let it go.
Oh, yes.
Let it go, right? Look, we're going to go forth and get ready for our brief commercial break. We're going to go ahead and let that come, because then we want to come back and dive a little bit further more into the blog, and a little bit more about decluttering, why it's important. Then we're going to talk about some of the steps and the benefits of decluttering. So take a look at this commercial.
Through the Effective Living one-on-one coaching program, you receive customized strategies and techniques to help you move from where you currently are to where you see yourself. You will work with world-renowned life coach, Ricardo Miller, who has more than 2 decades helping people maximize their purpose. Show us your target and we'll help you hit it. Visit www.ricardomiller.com to enroll.
Well, I want to thank you guys for joining us on this evening on this Effective Living Monday Night Conversations, another opportunity to begin to share on this powerful platform. And tonight I'm here with my very special guest, Miss Loretta Moore-Nixon, and we'll be talking about on the subject of why it is important to declutter our lives. Yeah. And at the end that we left, we talked about how decluttering brings about clarity. Yeah. And that's really, really, really so important. And so we want to talk start this, have a little bit talk about some of the benefits that we might experience from decluttering. And a few things that, we're going to talk about or we can discuss openly is better organization.
Yes.
The less stuff we have around, the more easier it is to have, we can get organized. Sharper focus. Oh, my God. That's a major thing, concept of decluttering. Why? Because it helps us with our concentration. Remember, I just talked about the situation, seeing something that's out of order. I can't even focus on my studying because they was just didn't fit. Good sleep. Oh my God. What? Good sleep. Less color around, less things you have to think on. That memory recall that the enemy try to play in our head all the time. That means when we can let go out of those negative thoughts, those toxic thinking, then that means we can go to bed and get some good sleep, get some good rest, right?
Right.
Also, and this is what 2 things: increase creativity, letting go the negative distractions that's going to help allow us to be able to be more creative and see things in a more positive way. And then this one that I want us to really launch a little bit on, letting go of the past.
Come on now.
Letting go old stuff.
Putting
the past, leaving the past behind, letting go old things. Come on, you talked about earlier. I know that you were saying that we talked about clothes in the closet or whatever, but and then we already know it's far beyond just the actual physical materials or the physical wear. We're talking about letting go those individuals or people, situations, or things that has happened to us in the past that has no place in our future. That to the point that we're trying to move forward, but we can't move forward because we still decluttering, cluttering up our mind with stuff that has no value.
Right. Absolutely. And so I'm really glad that we're bringing this up because once again, I still say it's not only spiritual, it's not only mental, it's not only personal, right? Clutter shows up everywhere. Yeah. And I remember when I was going through my cancer treatments, and I remember being very angry at myself. Right? Being very angry at myself that when I looked back on my years, right? Because I had known at that point that I was going to survive cancer, right? I mean, it had been diagnosed. I knew that it had been caught early, but I didn't know yet that I was going to survive. And as I was going through my mental checklist, Coach Della, I was angry at myself that I had held on to situations and people and things, and that I had not allowed to let that hurt, right, or get past it, because I had forgiven, right? I had forgiven, but maybe I hadn't let the hurt go, right? And I was so angry at myself that I had wasted all of this time, and I may not have time left. And so that was my journey in starting to what I think was my spiritual decluttering and my mental decluttering. I was letting things go.
You know what? Right? I have a statement, a theme statement that I say all the time. This is one of my mottos. Okay. And you already know I deal with chronic kidney disease. And of course, now they don't throw on diabetes and all that stuff. Every time you turn around, you always try to, whether it's always something. But I say this statement often because it really, really, truly means a shifting and very something powerful. When I say a change, bring a change. Okay. And I really mean that because what we're talking about in decluttering, that means something has to be moved. Something had to be thrown away. Something had to be like cast aside. Something had to be not thought of. Something had to be go. Something got to give. And so what you just said about the fact that they caught your diagnosis, you caught your situation, the cancer early, but then the fact of even allowing yourself to think and move forward with the true healing and the fact that you are a survivor. And I know what you're saying is so true, because my mind was so bogged down and cluttered with every time I hear or think about, every time they gave me a diagnosis, every time, it kept me in this box of like, what else? What's something else is going to happen? Oh my God, now I need to get my life together, because now tomorrow's going to be something else. And it didn't allow room for the fact of miracles, signs, and
wonders. Yes.
And
you hit on the point. It was at that point that I realized, in order for me to heal, I had to let some things go.
I had to let it go.
I had to let it go. And because guess what? Most often, the people, the things, what you gonna do about it? People may not change. It has already happened, and you're already on the other side of coming through it. Glory to God.
Glory to God.
You're already on the other side of coming through it, right? So you got to let it go. You have to let it go, right? And again, not knowing if my cancer, was going to be, what's what, I knew in my heart I had to be obedient. And I'm like, look, forgiveness, right? I had to give grace, and I had to let some things go. I had to declutter that hurt. I couldn't be a hurt person trying to heal. Come on now, talk to me.
Come on.
My healing was not going to happen if I was hurt by others and what others had done, and I'm trying to heal by the grace of God.
And you jumping in right there, because we're talking about hurt from others. And I see this comment that's posted where it talks about clutter spills over into relationships. And that's so true, because if we're holding on to, like you said, the deep hurt or the hurt from the past, what somebody either said, did, or done, then it's not only not leaving room in the decluttering, not leaving room for forgiveness.
For healing.
Come
on now. And all of those things are so key in living an effective life.
So key. You know what? Let's think about it. Let's talk about it when we talk about this problem of, the importance of decluttering. Look, if you're holding on to not only things of the past, if you're holding on to those things that has no value, if you're holding on, to the scenarios and the situation that keeps you bound, there's no room for growth. There's no room for living your life on your terms, because you're not living your life on your terms at that moment. You're living your life on the situation and what other people say, done, or did. You're thinking more about what is happening. You're thinking more about what's present, what's taken up, than you are thinking about the possibilities and opportunities.
Absolutely.
This whole month of March, our coach was talking about our finances. It was all about money. And see, that was another thing too. I had to declutter my mind about money, because I kept thinking like, oh my God, people always want something. As soon as they come, that call, that's the first thing that comes about my mind. Or I had to declutter my mind about the fact that God, he gave us and created us to be walking with wealth. He gave us he said, bless you going in, bless you going out. You know what? And I had to declutter my mind about being successful, because I'm thinking what people going to think about. What people gonna say? If I'm, hey, they see me dressed like this or act like this, and they see me offering, and I'm in the coaching business. So if I'm asking and demanding for this price for my services, all of a sudden now everybody want a discount. That sometimes you just can't get a discount. So I'm sitting there, oh my God, maybe because of the fact that they probably thinking that who am I? My mind was more concerned about all that instead of operating in the spiritual authority. Being the head and not the tail, being the lender and not the borrower, operating in the riches and the glory of God. Then what he tell me? So look at all that negative mindset.
All of
Because
that.
sometimes when you have a spirit of lack, look, we said nothing missing, nothing lacking, nothing broken. And sometimes when your mind is cluttered with the spirit of lack, there's no room for the spirit of success, the spirit of a blessing.
Abundance. Blessing.
Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for.
Right.
Come on, give it to me again.
Abundance, blessing.
Come on.
Overflow, right?
Overflow.
He said that he will open up the windows of heaven.
And do what?
Pour you out a blessing, baby. Okay?
It said that the storeroom can't even receive it, baby.
Right.
That's that overflow, right?
Right. But what if you got all of this clutter? All of this
stuff? Come on.
He can't get you your stuff because you can't let go of stuff.
Come on now. Come on.
And the other thing, Coach Della, that popped into my mind, and which I'm really purposing, always to be, is intentional.
Woo, come on.
Intentional. Be intentional about this life that he has given us, about the opportunities and the blessings and the talents. And when I hear you talk about how, and we all do that, when we get to be very successful or we're on our way to success, we're always thinking about, well, what is this person going to think? What is that person going to think? No, what did your father tell you? Okay. That's it. Be a blessing. You blessed to be a blessing.
Blessed to be a blessing.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Like you said, though, when I think about just the fact of why were we saved? Why were we delivered? Why were we healed? Were we bound up? Were we healed just because of the fact? No, we was healed to sit there so we can go help somebody else to be set free, to let them know if God did it for me, he could do it for them. And you just said something. Effective living is all about living intentional.
Yes, it is. Life in general, life should be
living
intentional,
right? Intentional. That's it.
Absolutely.
That's the only way how we're going to talk about living a life, where we don't have to take a vacation from, because you're living intentional. You set in the place, you set in the mindset, you set in motion that which has been ordained by God. Look, the Bible told me that we was beautifully and wonderfully made. And I got to believe that everything that was beautifully and wonderfully made was not only created like this, that means everything about you, girlfriend, was intentional.
Absolutely. And guess what?
Come on.
Our gifts and our talents will make room for us. Come on now. Make our name great. Okay. Come on now. So we go into ourselves as being daughters of the Most High, right?
You know what?
We're blessed to have a purpose, right? In that week when I got diagnosed with cancer and God spoke to me to write a book. Okay, I tell this story before and I'll make it real quick. He told me to write a book, right? And he gave me the name of the book. He gave me the title. He said, write it about a life-changing event, your journey through cancer, right? And that first, I was going through my cancer treatments. I had over 40 treatments. I had 5 years. I had surgery. I had 5 years of medication, all of that. In each of that, I was thinking, okay, I got to write this book. I got to be obedient. I got to write this book, right? And I was beating myself up because guess what? This is where what I'm telling you is so important. I had all of this clutter in my life, different things, right? But I felt like it was preventing me from writing this book, from getting this book done, okay? And one day I was down on myself. I was at work, and one of my coworkers, I was telling her, I'm messed up. God has told me to write this book. I haven't written it yet. And she said, well, he told you to write the book, right? I said, yeah. She said, did he tell you when to write the book? I said, well, no. He said, write the book. She said, so the book is still being written. And although I haven't written that book yet, the book is still being written. But guess what?
Good.
When I get done with my decluttering, it's going to be I'm going to be free. I'm going to be free to do all the things that he has purposed me to do. But I'm not going to wait till I'm totally decluttered. I'm going to be about my business now, right? And
I like what you just said.
You have to just do it. You can't wait for the other things to line up.
Right.
You got to be about your business of just doing it.
I like what you said. I like what you just said. That although you have not started the writing of the book still is going to be written.
Absolutely.
So that means that nothing is lost.
Nothing.
That means that we are not on Chronos time.
Right.
We're on Kairos time. We're on
That's right.
God's timing.
That's
So
right.
at the time when you get ready to write that book,
Come on
you're
now.
saying that not only would the color be out, you will have no distraction, because see,
None.
decluttering takes away the distraction. We talked about earlier the benefits of decluttering. That's sharper focus.
Yes.
And
And
when we talk
clarity.
about that sharper focus, that means it's giving us a greater level of concentration, and it's giving us a better way of mindset of focus. So even though that chapter 1 or that introduction have been written, it's yet to come.
It's yet to come.
Because,
Absolutely.
and I also like what you just said too, and that's really, really important. And I want you to hit on that a little bit more. Is that the fact you said, I don't have to wait till everything get decluttered before I start to begin. And that's good, because sometimes when we are eating, that's a mindset of cluttering, because we always say, I got to wait till this part get up. I got to wait till that part get done. And every time you got to wait, you put in this, you actually add it on instead of taking it away.
That's right. That's right. Because once again, right, the 3 A's: awareness, acceptance, and action. And so much we get stuck between. It's not that we don't know, right? And maybe we haven't accepted, but it takes us longer to get to the action. And we have to be more intentional about getting to the action.
Ooh, this is so good. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you for joining us tonight on Effective Living Monday Night Conversations. And I am just so excited about this topic, because when we're talking about living our life and effective living, we talk about effective living it intentional. We're talking about getting rid of those things that continuously to clutter up our mindset, that stops us or hinders us or even limits us from being able to move forward in life and live that life intentionally. But we're talking about taking away those things that never should have been, getting rid of them, so that we can have not only better organization, but better structure, and living our life on our terms and in a way where nothing would hinder or block the life that we have been originally designed. And so I'm here with my very special guest, Loretta Moore-Nixon. And I'm telling you, this conversation has been so inspiring, so much. And what we've been talking about, just really, really, I hope that's been charging with you. So Lo, I want to as we winding down in our last few minutes of conversation, I know I shared like some benefits: the better organization, sharper focus, good sleep, increase creativities, and letting go of the past. What 3 things that also, when you was thinking about, as you was reading this blog, came to your mind that you might want to add on to what was actually already written?
Yeah, well, one of them I actually already said, and I said clarity, but let me explain what I mean by that a little bit more. I always purpose to have the clarity that is going to help me fulfill my purpose, right? So it's not enough just to be aware in the clarity, but you want out of that clarity to get something accomplished, right? Get something big, huge, fantastic, because it's freeing you now to do that. The other one that I mentioned already is intentional. Know enough to know where it is that once you get out of that clutter, where you going, right?
It is.
Where you going, and what you're going to do with that newfound energy, that newfound time, that newfound peace, right? That comes out of that. And then just the third, I believe the benefit is, honestly, I think we'll be much happier. I do. I think there's a level of joy and happiness that whenever you let go of whatever it is that we're holding on to in clutter, as we talked, comes in many different forms. I believe you get joy back. I believe you get happiness back, right? I believe you get the real you, the authentic you. So there's authenticity that comes out of the clutter.
See, that was one of my words. Was authenticity. You living your life, an authentic life. You living your life, intentional and authentic. You living out your best you. And I love how you brought the 3. You said clarity, intentional, and then you living with that, bringing back the happiness. And also not only just the happiness and the joy, but it's the happiness and enjoy all the way across a bar in our relationships, in our mindset, in our faith. You know, here in Effective Living, we built our platform on 5 pillars. And our 5 pillars are faith, finances, fitness, fun, and family.
Yes.
And all of those, when we are talking about decluttering our life, we can see each and every platform and pillar flourishing.
Yes.
You know, in every area and every area of our life. And we can not only have that joy, and I saw what somebody just had posted a few minutes, enlightening, it brings about a whole different look, an outlook of life. That means the relationships that we're forming, you know, not only inside of our families, but even outside, you know, the relationship we form is like, it's bringing about a solid sense of purpose. Our health is being aligned, you know, our fitness is in more control. And then we leave, what you say, Joy? Fun.
Yes.
Fun.
Yes. And when I hear you name the pillars, what popped to my mind was how it's important to flow. You want to flow through those important things, right? We don't want limits. We don't want to be stuck. You know, we're going to have the ups and downs, and that's part of life. But that flow is important. That flow is important.
You know, because one of the things that I love when I think about flow, that means going a smooth in each one, not one overtaking another, but it's just all working together in one unity. And one position, one focus.
All things work.
All things work together for the good.
Yes.
I just love it. I'm just loving. Look, I'm just so excited because as we coming down to our last point, one of the things in the statement, even as it was written in the blog, when we take control of clutter, you are taking control of your life. When you take control of clutter, that means when you stop allowing clutter and those things that does not fit, that's totally out of place.
Right.
When you finally deal with them, you're managing and you putting everything and you getting it gone so you can have the freedom, no limits. Remember, nothing lacking, nothing missing, nothing broken. Intentional living, greater things, greater outlook. You know, abundant living in all of our periods, having that flow, then that means we're able to live that life that God had intended for us to live.
Absolutely.
But one of the good things too, I want to say also, and I want to know, do you agree? Even if maybe you might get stuck, there's still somebody that's out there that's here to help you to be able to get unstuck. So we talked about relationships. So even when we talk about decluttering, that means we're getting rid of pride. And that means when we don't know, we go get the help that we need to help us to get decluttered so that we can do what?
Flow. And the one thing that I would say about that, I mentioned it earlier, is, you know, grace. Sometimes, honey, sometimes you just have to grant somebody else grace, right? And then you have to move on, right? You have to grant that grace, let them be where they're gonna be, and you move on. You flow into your next level. You flow into your next purpose. You flow into your destiny. That's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about. You know what? As soon as you sat there and you said that grace, the first thing that came to my mind was Lamentations chapter 3, where it says, "Great is thy faithfulness, but morning by morning, brand new mercies God giveth unto us." Isn't that the grace that we receive?
Yes, it is. It is.
Isn't that the grace?
Absolutely.
You know, what can you imagine what would happen if our Lord and Savior would have just kept on and just holding on to the things that we did? You know, our Savior, if we don't, he gives us grace every day. How we know?
Every day.
Because we're alive. We wake up.
That's right.
So grace
every day we can make a change. Every day we can make
a change.
We can be the change. Yes, we can. We can declutter. We can do this, you all. We can do
that. Look, I have that. I'm going to turn it over because I want people to know how to get in contact with you. But I have posted right on my wall, time to be the change that I want to see. And it's 3 words. Make it happen.
Make it happen.
Just make it happen.
That's right.
So that's what I'm saying to you tonight, everyone. I'm saying to all those who's coming with us, make it happen. You can
Yes,
do it.
yes,
You
yes,
can make it happen.
yes.
If you want to be able to live this life where you don't need to take a vacation from, you want to live your life where the clutter is not taking over, where you declutter so you can put everything and you have the abundance that God, what we've been talking about, make it happen.
Make it happen.
Get rid of it.
Yes, yes.
Let it go.
Let it go. And we are
Flow.
well able.
You are
We
well
are
able.
well able.
Woo.
Don't forget it.
Look, tonight has been so awesome with you, Queen. I am telling you, oh my God, I could go on and on and on, but
Yeah.
I want to make sure we have enough time that people can follow you and hear what you have to offer. So why don't you share what is the way how people can get in contact with you? What is your platforms that you're on that they might be able to just, find out and make it happen, make that connection?
Absolutely. Well, once again, this has been chicken soup for my soul, Coach Della. You already know how both excited we were. And I saw a lot of our friends, a lot of our classmates were chiming in.
All
And
right.
they hadn't seen you for a while, but
Look, this is Chicago Takeover. This is Effective Living Chicago. This is what we do all day, pretty much. So I want to thank them for joining us. Hey, but don't let that be your last time.
All
Here
right.
every Monday night, on Monday night, me and my other sisters and co-hosts and my own very coach. Oh my God, we have powerful Monday night conversations. So if you have not subscribed, please subscribe and share to this platform because I'm telling you, it's hot. Go ahead.
It is the Chicago Connection. And so, as I mentioned, I am an entrepreneur. I am a business owner. I am the owner of Passion by Design Boutique. You can definitely shop my website, or I'm not trying to throw out, any kudos, but you can share along with me and get all beautiful. I can be reached at www.passionbydesignboutique.com if you want to do some retail therapy. Facebook, I am Loretta Nixon, and look at me, I gotta look down at my cards because all of these newfangled medias. Okay. I think on Instagram I am at Nixon Loretta. That's Nixon Loretta. And again, one of my other platforms is I've created a new group, My Sister's Keeper. It is a phenomenal organization and group that I am growing for us. And this is sisters of all colors, shapes, sizes, right?
Yes.
But we need that support system that you can come and have the word poured into you. You can speak a word. You can be an encouragement. You can be a blessing to be blessed to bless others. And so you can join My Sister's Keeper on Facebook. It's a Facebook group. And again, I am just grateful for this platform. I am here. Della and I are going to do some amazing things together. We have the heart to give. We have the heart to share. We've been blessed, and we just want to give back and be that blessing and inspiration to others.
Well, woman of God, I want to thank you for joining us this evening and joining me on this platform this evening. Truly, I'm quite sure. And as I see the responses and the conversation here in the chat, it definitely was a very powerful topic and definitely a very important one as we're talking about living our life effectively and then moving forward, living it intentionally. And so if you have not, I would like for you guys to go out and visit Coach Ricardo's platform on his website. We have not only merchandise materials, but one of the things I want to bring up, and I'm going to show you here, is the book. Oh, let me see. I got a little bit glare, and it's Effective Living, his book on the platform. See, I need to get the hardback. You know what? Starting today, Coach, I'm going to make sure I get the hardback. I hope he's watching so I can just tell him, thank you. Yes, because I'm telling you, this book is one that you need to have in your library. It is a guide. It is a tool that, that helps you where you don't need to, help you to live your life, where you don't need to live your life, where you not needing to take a vacation from. I'm so excited about it. I'm telling you, it's a guide. It's a tool. It's just not a book for reading. You need to put this book in your library. I'm telling you, it is a must read. And if you haven't, I want you to go to www.ricardomiller.com and not only get the book, but as you saw, we're going to share some more additional information where you can get more on this particular, not only just a book where you can get mugs, additional t-shirts and merchandise that's there for your purchase, for your liking. But maybe you might be interested in even joining us on our Mondays weekly group coaching. I'm telling you, you're talking about this platform. This platform that you're gonna definitely want to be part of, because every morning at 6:30, we're receiving nuggets and powerful inspirations and tools that help us to be able to continue to create the platform and to live the life that God has designed for us to live, taking it and moving forward and intentional. So we definitely want you to be part of that. We got series that's coming up. So you know what? Again, Lo, I want to thank you for being with me. I want to let the informational show, but at the same time, I'm telling you guys, declutter, so that not only you can live your life intentional, but you can live it where you're living it abundantly. Let it flow.
Let it flow and let it go.
Let it go and let
it flow.
Okay, so thank you for joining me tonight on Effective Living Monday Night Conversation. I am your co-host, Coach Della Major, and it is my honor to be with you during this evening. Thank you, love.
Thank you, Della.